our preview of each team ahead of the IPL 2021 season. And in this segment, we'll be looking at the finalists of IPL 2020, the Delhi Capitals, who have a new captain this year around Nash. I think I'll start with my possible 11 this time around. But before I do, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Delhi Capitals this year. What do you think of Rishabh Pant's appointment as captain?
I think it'll be interesting. I honestly did not see that coming. I would have thought they would have gone with someone like Ashwin or even Steve Smith, who was, or they are proven captains. They can do it. But I can also understand why they've chosen Rishabh Pant is because he has had a stellar last 6 months. He's young and possibly future India captain as well. So you never know, and he might end up surprising all of us. But I really don't have high hopes for DC this year. I don't have them in my top 4, and
Really?
we'll speak about them as we go along. But we'll start with your playing 11 first, and so let's begin. What's your playing 11?
Yeah. So I thought, like you, I was a bit surprised with Pant. I probably would have gone with Ashwin as the skipper, but I think Rishabh Pant, as you said, he's had a wonderful few months and can certainly produce the goods. In terms of my playing 11, I've got Prithvi Shaw opening. I think he sort of fell away badly last season. He wasn't in the 11 back end of the season. The form he's in at the moment in domestic cricket, he's been outstanding in recent times. So he definitely gets the opportunity to play in the first game. Shikhar Dhawan, second highest run scorer of last year. This is number 3 is a very tricky spot. And I think it ultimately depends on what you want to do with your middle to late order in terms of, do you want to play Sam Billingsley or Shimron Hetmeyer at number 6? If you do, then I would play Rahane instead of Smith, so I can have an extra finisher at the back end. Because ultimately, Rahane and Smith in T20 cricket, I really rate Smith as a T20 player. I think he's got a lot to offer there, but ultimately those two are quite similar in terms of the way they play. So if you think they're quite similar, you might as well go with the Indian option there and use an overseas player to finish the innings well. So I've got, to start off with, I'll go with Rahane. Then I'll go with Rishabh Pant at 4. Marcus Stoinis at 5. You can have Sam Billings at 6. If you don't want to go with Sam Billings, you go with Shimron Hetmeyer. I think you can go with an overseas option there to finish the innings strongly. A good hitter there at the back end who could score quickly. Akshar Patel at 7. R. Ashwin at 8. Kagisa Rabada at 9. And Rich Notkia at 10. And I would actually play Umesh Yadav at 11 because he's a good power play option, and that will enable Delhi Capitals to save more of Rabada for the back end of the innings potentially. So that's an option that I'll put there as well. Another option that they can do is have Smith at 3, and you can play Lalit Yadav at 6, the all-round option who has shown some very good signs so far in his career in domestic cricket. He can do some bowling, and he can hit a long ball as well. So they've got a few options there. I think their number 3 position and their number 6 position is one they'll want to nail down. But I think overall, I think it's a big call to leave Delhi Capitals out of the playoffs conversation, even in the absence of Shreyas Iyer. What do you think?
Interesting call, because our team does look a bit similar, except in the bowling department. So I'll obviously start off with Prithvi Shaw and Shikhar Dhawan at the top, and then I'll have Steve Smith at number 3, Rishabh Pant at number 4, Hetmeyer at number 5, Stoinis at number 6. Obviously, those two can change their numbers at, for someone like Stoinis can come at number 5 and Hetmeyer at number 6. Patel at number 7, Ashwin at number. So with Akshar Patel, it's interesting because you also have Amit Mishra in there, who is a leg spinner, who is probably the most successful spinner in IPL, and you have him. So do you drop him if he's gives that wrist spinning option? Batsman would like to take him on and he gets the wickets. So either Akshar Patel or Amit Mishra. The positive for Akshar Patel is that he gives the batting option.
Not only that, it was a long time before anyone hit Akshar Patel for a 6 last season. His economy rate was outstanding.
Yeah, that's right.
Look what he's been doing for India. I know it was Test cricket, but his partnership with Ashwin last season was impressive.
Yeah, so that's one area where I'm a bit confused as to which way they'll go, but yeah, it depends. Time will tell. Then Ashwin, obviously, and then three fast bowlers are Umesh Yadav, Kagiso Rabada, and Ishant Sharma. Because obviously Rabada, Stoinis, Hitmar, and Steve Smith are my foreign players, overseas players. So I can't pick Enric Nokke, so I have to pick Ishant Sharma. Well, there's no other proper fast bowling experienced option in there. I don't really want to pick Tom Curran given the last few months he has had. So yeah, those are my fast bowling options. With obviously Stoinis can bowl a bit of medium pace as well, and then obviously spinners you have someone like Ashwin, so you don't really need anyone else, do you?
I think that puts a lot of pressure on Rabada the back end of the innings. I think that lineup, because you've got Ishant Sharma and Umesh, I think are much better up front.
Yeah.
And Nordkia took over 20 wickets thereabouts last season, and his partnership with Rabada was a key reason why the Capitals, I think, had a good or qualified for the playoffs. Yeah. I think it would be wrong for the Capitals to separate them at the start of the campaign. I think I'll play them both, but
yeah.
If you go with Smith, Hetmeyer, and Stoinis there in the middle as your overseas options, that provides some strength with the bat as well.
Yeah. But you can only play Nokke if Rahane plays. If Smith plays instead
Correct.
of Rahane, then only you get that. You don't get that foreign bowling option. Correct. Where you only play one. So
or if you leave out Hetmeyer and play Ladik Yadav,
yes, that's
stuff like that. But
yeah, you can't. I really don't want to leave someone like Hetmeyer out of the playing 11.
He can change a game. Yeah, he's got talent. You're right.
So where do you have them finishing in the? Oh, sorry. Before that, let's speak about the strengths and the weakness. So what do you think the strengths are going to be?
I love their bowling attack. That's what was a key reason for their success back end of last season. So not back end of last season where they had a bit of a tough run, but early on in the season where they won a lot of games, their bowling was really, really good. And I see them doing well again this year. They've got the options of Stoinis there as the all-rounder to filling with overs. The two spinners, Patel and Ashwin. The finger spinners, different to the trend of having wrist spinners in your team, but they're very smart bowlers and they're very economical.
True.
And the pace attack, particularly Rabada and Nordkia for me as a partnership. That's why I wouldn't break them up. Yeah, they were very, very good last season. Fair enough. I see that as a big, big strength of theirs.
Any weakness you see in that squad?
A lot of top order players throughout their lineup, I would say, because I know Stoinis has improved significantly as a middle order player. He played a fine innings for Australia against New Zealand recently. He was good at times as a finisher in last year's IPL, but he's more of a top order batsman in T20, so they've got to guard against that a little bit. And then Smith and Rahane, depending on who you pick there, they're typically higher up the order as well. They like to probably open the batting more in T20 cricket. You probably wouldn't have that as well. So it's about cracking that team balance nice and early. I think the absence of Shreyas Iyer leaves a bit of a gap as well with his ability. So yeah, that's what I would say. They're batting and getting that combination right and working together well as a unit very early in the season is something they've got to get right.
Yeah, well, a couple of weaknesses that I can immediately see in the playing 11 are, well, Shikhar Dhawan's T20 form. We all saw what he can do in the one day team, but his T20 form, he later got dropped from the playing 11 for the India-England T20. So we still don't know how he will perform in the T20s. And then obviously another weakness, I really love Rishabh Pant as a player, but I don't know what he will bring as a captain. It was a surprise to us all. So it just, for all we know, he might end up scoring 1,000 runs and breaking Virat Kohli's most runs for the season record, or it might be horribly, horribly wrong for him. So we don't know what captaincy does to Rishabh Pant. I hope he goes really well. I love him as a player, and I hope it doesn't affect his batting or keeping. So that's one. I wouldn't say weakness, but it's sort of in between strength and weakness right now, where it can tip anywhere during the season. So yeah, and apart from that, I don't really see any big weakness. Just Umesh Yadav and Ishant Sharma in the bowling department might be a bit difficult to deal with sometimes because they both are not that good in the death overs. But just time will tell.
That's why I would guard against playing both.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So that's something they've got to think about.
Yeah, but then given that, talking about the strengths, we spoke about RCB scoring 200 plus. This batting lineup could well go past that easily, because Prithvi Shaw, Shikhar Dhawan, if they get on, I mean, there's no stopping both of them. And then you have Smith, who can obviously, score at run a ball and, takes the score away quickly without you even noticing. So he's that kind of a player. And then you have Rishabh Pant, Imran Hetmyer and Stoinis. So these three players in the middle order, it's a big call, and they can really take the game, away from the opposition at any time. Absolutely, so that's the big strength that they have.
Absolutely, they can. And I think they've got, Rabada and the skillful spinners there as well, I think, to lead that bowling attack, which is going to be very, very important against other teams some of them, like RCB, have got incredible batting lineups. So if Delhi can score big and make those big scores, I don't see why they can't perform very well this season and be right up there.
And obviously, we haven't even spoken about R. Ashwin as a strength. I mean, the amount of experience, the amount of talent, and the amount of cricketing brain that he brings to the team, it's just magnificent. And he will be really the big deciding factor in whether DC play the playoffs or not. So obviously, no offense or no disrespect to any of the players in the team, but R. Ashwin, I believe, is probably the most, you can call him street smart cricketer there is, and he knows what he's doing. So he'll be the key as well. But
we spoke about India being well served playing him in the national side as well in white ball cricket.
Definitely. And but having said that, as I said earlier, I don't have them in my top 4 just for the fact that inexperienced captain, we don't know what he'll bring to the table as a captain. So I have them at number 5 because they might just miss out because I have Punjab Kings at 4, and those 2 teams will depend on other teams to take them through to the playoffs. So that's why I have them.
It's a tough call. Like anyone on their day, it can come down right to the wire, and then who knows what happens.
Definitely.
Who knows what happens throughout the season with injuries and stuff.
Definitely.
But in my mind, is the Punjab Kings a more reliable team, a more consistent team than Delhi Capitals? Is that going to be the case this year? So when you try to think about it, like Delhi Capitals have got, some experience playing together. I think with Punjab Kings, they've got a few different new combinations that have to be very, very good straight away. I think with Delhi Capitals, they're inching closer to where they want to be. I've got them in 3rd.
Okay.
I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yep. Perfect.
So that's our preview of the Delhi Capitals this year. Once again, Nash and I differ in opinion regarding the team. So feel free to let us know your thoughts, guys. Don't be too hard on us. Go easy. So that's our Delhi Capitals preview. Next up, we'll look at the IPL champions, 2-time champions and 5-time overall Mumbai Indians. Thanks, guys.